Hello. Hello, Logic Churchers. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, kind souls. Hello, people. People. That is beautiful, isn't it? To be a person when we are all people. And that gives us something to share, which is why I welcome you all this beautiful evening to Logic Church. All right. I'm going to get our chat set up here. And I welcome you all. Hang tight. Hang tight. Grab yourself a beer, some tea, some coffee, some wine, whatever it is that you enjoy drinking to keep you occupied. In the meantime, sending my vibes of great love and understanding your way. I will be with you in a moment. All right, our chat is working, which is beautiful. I love that. That is our Discord. I welcome everybody to join our Discord. All right. Welcome to Logic Church. This is a place of relaxation, of self-knowledge, and compassion. And I welcome you all. Our Discord link for you to join and to be a part of Logic Church is in the chat. I welcome you to take it easy for a moment because we're not quite ready to invite people on. But if you are ready and willing and really want to chat, I do welcome that as well. So, by joining the Discord, if you wish to join the stream, you need only go to Hangouts and Talks after joining. And then I will bring up my window here, and we can talk. So that's how Logic Church is going to go. In the meantime, I will do my philosophy with you to ease the long week that you spent on the spinning space rock in the middle of nowhere in the vast, deep universe. And in doing so, I hope to bring you peace. I hope to bring you a sense of love, that is, knowing that you are part of something great and fantastic that goes beyond the majesty that is you as an individual, but encompasses your majesty as an individual. That being said, I will begin my philosophical discussions in just a moment. Hang tight. Godspeed. You have the Discord link, so please join that, and then we'll begin in about 2 to 3 minutes here. Very excited to spend this evening with you all. Welcome to Logic Church. Welcome back. I just wanted to tell my mom that I love her. She's a wonderful one. Now, first of all, cheers. Cheers to all of the great beauty of the universe, of nature, and to everyone who is watching now or listening later. I cheers to you, and I encourage you to grab yourself a drink as well. Will the great majesty of all that is good be with you. Cheers. Nice. That being said, have you ever noticed anything truly beautiful? You're walking down the street and you see a flower, or you see a beautiful woman, or a beautiful man if you're a woman. Maybe the guy's got a nice butt or something like that, right? Just something out of the ordinary, something you might not expect. And it appears and it exists. And you see it, something beautiful. It's a reminder. It's a reminder that even though things can be difficult and frustrating at times, that they might even be disheartening and frustrating. A lot of the frustration comes from our interaction and relations with other human beings. That beyond all of that is a great complexity of beauty. That everything that exists is bound together with atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons, so forth, holonically, encompassing one another, one thing around one thing around one thing, creating the appearance of material reality, which is a very beautiful thing. And that what we see is things built upon each other for your body, for you as a person to exist. That means that each system, and it is a system, an atom is a system, and then beyond the atom is another system, around that system, and around that system, another system. This is a process of construction where material reality comes to us and exists. Finally and ultimately, in beautiful elegance. To make it even simpler, your body, all the organs in your body function as their own system. Your lungs, your pancreas, your brain. It all functions as its own system, but all of it together creates your body. It's not merely just, it is that life is. It is not that it is that life is. It is a great encompassing of many systems, many functions, many pieces that bring it all together to create what is you, to create what it is that is life. And that is perhaps the most beautiful things that could be. Isn't that so? It is. Wonderful. It's wonderful. So, again, I ask you to sit back and relax. Put up your feet. Find yourself a nice chair. Find yourself a comfortable bed to lay down in as we talk, as we chat, as we discover the infinity of all there is. And if you have a nice, comfortable chair, as I hope all of us do, everybody deserves a nice, comfortable chair. Find yourself a drink, whether it's water, whether it's beer, whatever grants you peace, because our bodies are mostly water, and we must provide ourselves the energy that we need to survive. And to you and your peace and your comfort on this Friday evening, hopefully none of us have anything that we need to do, and we can just relax, and we can just be at peace. I cheers to you. Elijah Church cheers. To the universe and everybody on the web, everybody throughout the universe, cheers. All right. I have another thing I'd like to discuss. We're often wondering, what is it that we should do with ourselves, with our actions, with our thoughts, with our emotions, with our feelings, what it is that we must accomplish. And it is very simple. It is that our purpose is to exist. And to exist is the best that we can do, and perhaps even, one might say, godly. To exist. Not that we are God. If anything is God, we are God together. Right? And I do open up the chat for comments and questions that I'm more than happy to address and respond to. As more people show up to Logic Church, more than happy to discuss those. we often have a feeling like there is something that we need to do. And perhaps this is the universe's way of encouraging us to do. And that may very well be true. That this feeling we have deep in our hearts, deep in our minds and our bodies, that we feel that there is something to do. Whether it's paying your taxes, because it's about that time, is it not? Or whether it's washing your dishes, maintaining your environment. There are these, what you may call, natural pressures to encourage us to do something about that. And so it is our responsibility to pay attention to these things. And if we do, then we can actually make the world around us better, which will make the world for everyone better. But it is also okay if we ignore it, if we put it off for a day of rest. And I remember something I read in a philosophy book. Marcus Aurelius. And he said, when the gods grant you a moment of rest, that you ought to take full advantage of it, to learn something, to grow in some kind of a way, because your life exists within the plane of you as an individual and how you experience it. And that means your growth, your emotions, your experiences, and bringing them forth and growing them and improving yourself allows you to embrace them at a deeper place, at a deeper level. And so when you have that moment of rest, which may be right now while you're listening to this stream, which I hope it is. I hope you are at rest while you're listening. Then it is an opportunity for you to grow and to be at peace and relax and to have a beer. Right. Okay, I'm going to send the link out to a few folks. Beautiful. And at this moment, I'd like to cheers to beauty in the universe and our own self-growth. That being said, cheers. I send blessings as they are, as you may receive them. Cheers. Welcome to Logic Church. find myself in a comfortable space right now where things are good. They are good. And that is where my motivation comes for me to do something like this, to share with you. And it feels good. It feels great. Doesn't it? Oh, I see a hello from Jim. I see you on the screen. Welcome, Jim. Welcome to Logic Church. How are you today, Jim? I have my comments set so they show up on stream now, so you can share. Jim, I posted the link for the Discord if you have that now. If you're able to join that and you may want to have a chat, be happy to have you on here for a discussion. And I asked many of my friends, and perhaps we'll have a couple of people show up in a bit for a chat as well. Cheers to Jim. Beautiful. So we're often looking for something, and we don't know what that is. Or maybe we know, but we don't know, right? So it's a kind of subconscious, deep thing that we haven't quite yet recognized. And we really need to try hard to discover what that is. We have to look deep, deep into ourselves. What is it? Because why do we want something? What is it that brings us to the moment where that is the thing that we want or desire? And find out what that is. Because everything, you may not think it is so, but it is, that there is a reason behind why we want something. It's not nearly just that we want it. There are either societal pressures, or what we believe that we should be, that others have told us that we ought to be, or these are expectations that we have placed upon ourselves. Or there may be expectations that other people have for us. So we have to decide if these are things that we should pursue. Is it valuable to pursue something if other people think you should pursue them? Or Is it more important that you pursue something that you would like to pursue? And if other people do not appreciate what you have pursued, does that make what you have pursued not as valuable? It comes down to a kind of confusion. And you can do no wrong. You can do no wrong in that space. Can you? You cannot. So whatever action you decide to take on something is okay. It's okay. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And that is why you must first pursue experience. What are you experiencing? And pursue that. I see several people have popped in. Nice. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Logic Church. Just reminding everyone, the link to our Discord is in the chat. And you can join our Discord. If you're having trouble, let me know. And you're welcome to talk with me as I am philosophizing, as they say. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you guys to bring peace of mind, peace of heart, and contentment. Because life is about contentment. To that being said, I'd like to give a cheers to everybody in the chat. Again, like I've been saying, if you have a beer or a drink or some tea or a coffee or even some water, bring it by yourself. And I send you my great understanding, the great understanding of you that I hope that you recognize. And I send you all blessings that I may have potential to provide, with a cheers to everybody who's in the chat. Adieu, I cheers to you. Wonderful. Beautiful. Right. Like I said, the universe is truly a beautiful, beautiful thing. Though we may not recognize it, it truly is. And I encourage everyone to find a nice, relaxing chair to sit in. I encourage everyone to find some place they can be themselves. That's nice. Insurance license? Wonderful, my friend. Doing what you need to do, growing and improving, fighting for your passions. That's beautiful. No, this is not an ASMR stream. This is a philosophy stream. The fact that it might be somewhat relaxing is just a coincidence. I wouldn't say it's an ASMR stream. But if you have a moment, I do encourage people to join the Discord so that later on we can talk. Beautiful. Have you guys ever seen an orchard before? My family actually has an orchard, and we have peaches and apples and all kinds of yummy fruit. And every time I walk into the orchard, as I move through the grass, it's rustling against my legs. It kind of tickles. And I see the fruit. It's really beautiful to see the fruit because the fruit is very similar. You have apples, and there is a distinct shape to an apple. There is a distinct shape to a fruit. How does it come out the same every time? How does a peach come out the same every time? Or an apple? Now, they're different sizes. And sometimes you get apples and peaches that are somewhat deformed. They're these strange shapes. That's not normally the case. It's almost like the universe has a desire toward order, where we live in a universe of entropy, where everything is in a constant state of decay, but you see these pieces of fruit where there is somewhat of a standard shape. It is almost like the natural forces are chaotic, and sometimes nature cannot fight against it, and so you get this deformed fruit. But generally speaking, it is but the same, but in different sizes. Now, something like that might sound wild and fantastical to some, but I think recognizing this really gives you some kind of insight about nature itself, about life itself, about the universe and what is behind that, and what encompasses, what brings into life what is. That the balance that we see, where you can see that there could be imbalance. You can have fruit that is any kind of shape, strange shapes, deformed, but yet there are not. That behind it is some kind of control, some kind of balance. And it is beautiful. Yeah. Well, cheers again to our friends who have joined us, to the grand of all grand. I cheers to you. Grab your drink of water, tea, coffee, or beer, whatever it is. Let's have one together. Cheers. Nice. I'm sipping on some pale ale right now. Very good. Beautiful. Wonderful. So we might get down sometimes. We might feel bad. Like, wow. And I really think what it is that makes us feel bad is that no, no, no. It's not. Logic Church is just a fun thing. I should give some history. I'll come back to my topic, but I used to do Logic Church on Sunday. And so I grew up Catholic, and so on Sundays I would go to church. And instead of going to church because that was not the right thing for me anymore, I wanted to have a place where people could gather, because for me, church was a place where people could gather that wanted something more than the daily hustle and bustle of making money and getting along with people and trying to make something out of yourself as a society and its axioms propose for us to do, but a place where we can be at peace, where we can gather and be ourselves. And so this is a place of self-expression where everyone can be themselves and everyone can share what they want to share and talk about what they want to talk about. So in a sense, this is a place of communion. Communion is what you do when you are at church and you walk down and you receive the quote-unquote body of Christ in cracker form. But this is a place where we can just be human beings and be reasonable. So the logic part of Logic Church means that this is a place of reason, where we use reason and we talk with each other and share things. Druzel. Who is Druzel? I don't know who that is. Druzel. But no, this is not religion at all. This is just a place of peace. You can relate? That's fantastic. That's beautiful. I'm so happy that you can relate to that. Because everybody needs a place where they can relax and be at peace. And you can be in the chat, you can listen and relax and chill out and enjoy, which I hope is, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people relax and enjoy. Or you can join our Discord and we can talk, which will be a part of the stream. And that's why I shared it in the chat, and you guys are welcome to join anytime. Oh, are you talking about Do-San Gaming? I think I had him here last time, which I hope he joins us this evening. Beautiful. Okay. Well, I'm going to cheers again as I'm hanging out with you guys and trying to bring you peace of mind and contentment. As I wish for myself, so do I wish for you. I'm going to have another cheers to all of you guys. Thank you for joining me this evening and for making it a special time. Cheers to all of you guys. If you have a drink, I encourage you to as well. Cheers. I'm so happy my chat is working properly, because for me, it's not so important that I'm streaming, that I'm here, but that I can share this with you guys and have you here in my chat. on the screen. It's a very beautiful thing. Jim, I'm so sorry about your arthritis. That sucks. Are you using any natural medicine to help you with that? Now, I cannot smoke CBD on stream because my vaporizer is too slow. I'd be here forever, not able to chat, puffing on it, but I will enjoy some natural medicines later. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to hear that. Nice, very good. Very good. That's true that as we get older, our bodies don't function as they once did. But it's beautiful that nature provides something for us to bring us peace. Medicine, right? Water's good. Water is very good. I do love caffeine. Caffeine is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I would say that if it were not for coffee, I would not have been able to accomplish everything that I have in my life. I've done many things. I have a master's degree. I've lived in 3 different countries. I've done many things. And my motivation generally comes from coffee, which is surprising, to be honest. Kind of surprising. While you're doing your insurance type stuff, I would hope that you are just drinking water. Right. Well, some of us are a little bit more skilled. We can drink while working, right? No. That would be quite a talent, I believe. Very good. Yeah, I have a master's in linguistics, sociolinguistics, and pedagogy. Well, I don't want to disclose my location, but it was a pretty good university. Yeah. The only reason I didn't get my PhD was because I learned that it wasn't about teaching people or discovering something new, because teachers basically have to publish papers to become a professor. And there were only so many places you could publish something. And they were looking for papers like what they were doing. But I wanted to do something revolutionary and different. And I didn't want to write about topics that people wanted me to write about. And also, universities are doing away with professors. So in the future, there will be no more professors. And now people with PhDs that are teaching, they are adjunct professors, which means that they accept very low pay for teaching and sharing knowledge with others. So unfortunately, it ended up being a scam. But I would much rather be here with you talking about philosophy than being a professor, to be honest with you. But I am a professor of philosophy and philosophy medicine, I would say. Perhaps. All right. That's the end of beer number 2. That means we are now here and on to beer number 3. Woo! Maybe you guys heard that. Let's see. Yeah, well, I think so too. I've had many adventures. I lived in Japan too for 2 years. I'm actually fluent in Japanese, where I studied Buddhism and Zen. And perhaps in the future I may become a monk, a Zen monk, or I may also become a Benedictine monk, because I'm actually a really big fan of Catholic Benedictine monks. I think they're really amazing in what they do, and that I see great value in ritual, which is doing similar things each day, growing each day, kind of a thing. I just want to say that you getting your boost from caffeine, I definitely know where you're coming from, my friend. That's very true. That's very true, because it's a lot cheaper to hire 3 people who don't know really what they're doing on a deep level than to hire one person who is really, really good, right? So 3 silly minds can accomplish more than maybe one great mind, perhaps. So very sad that in our society, as society sees itself, that merit is expensive, and so the cost of hiring someone who is meritocracy is not in line with what is desirable for society, and that's very sad. But that's also okay, because we can create our own thing. We can do our own thing. We can do Logic Church, right? Where we can teach and learn and share and love. And that is what we're doing here. Awesome. Very awesome. So I want to ask everybody a question. Number 1, how was your week? And number 2, what is something that you wanted to do this week, but you weren't able to do or haven't had a chance to do? I think that's a great question. Nobody does that. Nobody asks their chat questions, like actual questions about themselves. Isn't that weird? That really makes you rethink things and how people do things and why they do things, I think. I think a lot of people come on the internet trying to entertain people. And they're not authentic in the way that they're looking for attention rather than really trying to give something back to people. Giving them meaning, giving them peace. And this is me trying to do something impossible and majestic among the abyss of the internet, where people are what is important. You are what is important. Your life, your dreams, your feelings, your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams. That is what is important. Okay. Tara, I don't know what that is. Will you explain to us what that means? I'd love to know. I'd love to. That's great. That's great, Jim. You're doing DoorDash. That's true. Actually, it can be really good. It would be nice if they also gave you health care and stuff like that, and dental and all that, but they don't. But that would make you a full-time employee, which in some ways is undesirable, perhaps. Oh, sorry, did I say Jim? Maybe I didn't. But yeah, I saw that message, and that can be really good because, like I mentioned, making money is like stored energy where you can save it for later, so you can buy your food, your water, your shelter, all those things that you need. And that's really important. And frankly, it's just kind of fun to drive a car around, isn't it? Dropping off food to hungry people. That's a great value to provide to humanity, especially during right now where people are kind of afraid to go outside, but you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid of nature. We've survived millions of years. That's good. Sometimes you don't know what you need to do to get something done. And so having the time to think through what you're doing can provide an opportunity for self-reflection. It's important not to just jump on top of a plan immediately and just do it, because sometimes you don't know what you're up against, and you really got to be careful so that you can do things the right way. Sorry about that interruption. That's right. I think something I've learned in life is that it's really important to have a plan and to plan. And then what you need to do is just go for it. There is a time for thinking, and then there's a time for action. You think about it, you plan it the best that you can. And then the time comes where, all right, I thought about it, I planned it, that is what it is. You take it, you drop it down on the table, you say, this is what I'm going to do, and you go for it straight into it, without fear, with courage, and you just do it. That's how I live life, and I think it's the best way to go. That's how that's how I've accomplished what I have. It's been a great adventure. Let me check out the other comments here. Oh, maybe you can confound on that health license. I'm kind of confused about that. But that's good. Dental insurance is never very good anyway. You mostly have to pay for that anyway. That's always something I worry about because teeth can be you might be surprised. Teeth can be a really big problem if there's a tooth problem. That's never any fun. You never want to have a tooth problem. All right. Well, he'll be right back. Maybe you can check that out later. But that's very good that you have that taken care of. And I'm so glad to hear that because nobody wants to have any tooth problems. I think I will say that DoorDash is definitely a better app. Oh my God, is that Lucky Frank? Is that Lucky Frank? Oh my God. Lucky Frank? Lucky Frank is one of my great heroes. I actually truly love Lucky Frank. Actually, I'm kind of shocked. I can't believe this. I can't believe I just saw Lucky Frank in my chat. Please tell me it's not so. Cheers to you, Lucky Frank. It's very good that you have not been drinking. Very good for you. Cheers to you. If you have a glass of water or tea, I encourage you to cheers. Cheers, my friend. Oh my God. Frank, I have a Discord. I'm going to put that in the description. If you feel up to it, I encourage you to join. Maybe we can have a chat. I would love to talk to you. That is not the right link. There we go. If you would, Lucky Frank, even if you're not up to it, even if you don't feel like talking, I would love for you to be at least in my Discord for us to have the potential to talk, maybe at another time. Yeah, I will say that I'd love to share with you guys a really crazy story. So when I was living in Hawaii, I have a couple of strange stories. So I was living in Hawaii, and my friend gave me a couple of puffs of his vape pen, and I was probably far more messed up than I realized at the moment. And then while I'm in the car, I get this crazy. So my Uber driver comes to pick me up, and I get this crazy feeling like I'm not supposed to be in this car. I don't know where that comes from. Like sometimes that's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful when you indulge in things. And I had this crazy feeling where I wasn't supposed to be in this car, and I'm sitting there in the back of the car, and I get this weird realization that I might be at the moment being kidnapped. Which is kind of crazy. Can you imagine that? And part of that was I was looking at the window and I couldn't recognize any of the surroundings because the driver was taking a weird way back to my place. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where are you going? Where are you taking me? And that was probably one of the most crazy experiences I've had. Now, I had another crazy experience in an Uber car. Actually, I have a couple more. Oh, well, this is the only one I'll share, though. But basically, I was in this car and I was about 2 minutes from my house where I was living. And at this time, I puffed a bit more than I probably should have as well. So be careful. Be careful, my friends. And I go blind. I go blind in the middle, in the back of this car. I go totally blind. And it's like, oh my God, I just went blind and I'm in an Uber car. Apparently that is something that can happen if you smoke THC. And then when my vision returns, it's like 20 seconds before I get to my house. So it was like 2 minutes where I was totally blind. And then my vision returns and it's like the Matrix. It's like ultraviolet or something, where everything appeared in red and it was all spotty and red and digitalized, which is kind of weird. And then all of a sudden my vision appeared back. One of the most crazy things that has ever happened to me, I have to say. Great. And to that great experience that I survived, I cheers to you all. And I'm going to check out the chat here in just a minute. Cheers. That's great. When I think of pizza drivers, I think of the Korean guy on Walking Dead. Like, what a badass pizza driver. So when I think of pizza drivers, I think of how badass that guy was. Pizza drivers for life. Isn't that crazy? Frank, I would have never imagined that would happen to me. Frank, by the way, man, where are your videos? I would love to do a collaboration of you. If you can send me some audio, maybe, like Google Drive it to me or something of some stuff you're doing. I'd love to make a song. I don't know if you've seen my channel recently. I've been making a lot of music. I don't know if it'll let me, but I'm going to try to put my email in the chat. That's my email. If you guys would like to send anything to me, I would love to edit some of your work, Lucky Frank. It would be my honor. Yeah, that's right. Actually, I remember, Frank, I think you mentioned that in a video that you were dropping stuff off. I think that's great. Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna take a few minutes. As I've been drinking, I think I need to use the gentleman's facility for just a moment. But we're going to go on a break just for a second here. Hope you guys can hang out and chill just for a moment. and I'll be just right back. All right. We're back. Thank you guys for your patience. These are the consequences of drinking. You have to use the gentleman's facility. But I welcome you guys back to Logic Church. I'm going to check out the comments here. So Frank, the past is gone, and it's okay that the past is gone, but we are here now, and our potential is unlimited in what we can do. So I ask you to, if you would, record some of your harmonica for me and send it to me, so I can create a beautiful song for you. And some of your singing as well. Actually, what I might do is I might take your harmonica and then add some other stuff to it, and then send it back to you so you can record some vocals, and then I can add those in as well, or something like that. It would be my honor. Actually, oh, that's too bad, because I did have a collaboration. I made the same mistake, because I did have an improvisation on your harmonica, and then I ended up deleting it for some reason, which is too bad, because we would at least have that. But what you do now, Frank, is what's important, not what you did. Oh, that would be great. I can do that. Frank, would you be willing to do that? I can do some blues guitar. Let's do that. Frank, will you... Yeah. Frank, will you send me an email so I have your email so I can send it to you when I'm done with it? Would you do that for me? Jim, what bug are you talking about? All right. Well, I just want to cheers to Lucky Frank again. I'm so glad to see you. I really am. Every time I see one of your videos, it really inspires me every time. And it makes me want to be better always. So I just want to say the impact that you make, though you might not see it, is truly grand. And I want you to understand that. And I would love for you to start making videos again, or being here in Logic Church and joining our Discord and talking with me, so we can, get down to it. Like, who is Lucky Frank? Because Lucky Frank is legend, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. When I was living in Hawaii, I lived through several lockdowns, and that was not a good time. It was not. I did not enjoy it at all. Actually, since I've been back where I am, on the West Coast, I have not worn a mask in months, so... I'm really glad to hear that. In my mind, Lucky Frank, you are this monolith. In my mind, you are better than me. That what you do, your beautiful hair, your musical talent, what you do is really good. Like, compared to me, what I do, you blow me away. You blow me away. And I don't want you to ever feel like you're not enough. You're fucking fantastic. You're a legend. And it would be an honor if I were to do anything with you. There are actually very few people that exist with your level. Oh, it's gone. Oh no. Frank, bring it back. Grow it out, my friend. It was fantastic. It's okay. Sometimes it's buzz cut season. Sometimes you just gotta shave it off. Just say goodbye to it. I do that too. Actually, Frank, let's make a pact. Because right now I'm growing out my hair a bit, where I was like totally buzz cut. I don't know if you saw my other videos that I've been posting, but why don't we make a pact? I'm going to grow my hair out, and then you grow out your hair too, and then we're going to let our freak flags fly, right? Let your freak flag fly, my friend. My friend, my friend, my friend. Let your freak flag fly. All right. Jim, I hope you're feeling better after your ointment. I hope things have improved a bit. That would be great. I'd love to hear how you're doing. All right, it's on. We're growing our hair out. We're doing it. That's fantastic. All right, well, that's a great opportunity to cheers. I cheers to our pact. Me and Lucky Frank are going to grow our hair out. We're going to be beautiful long-haired men. Which is great. Cheers to that. And then, Jim, I hope you're feeling better. Cheers to you guys. Hey, my friend. Cedar. Great to hear from you, my friend. I did ask Ray to show up tonight. He may make an appearance. We'll see. I have been watching his videos. I'm actually writing a song for Ray right now, actually. I got about halfway through it before I went on stream. So you might be hearing that later on when I post it. But Ray is dealing with Messiah complex. I don't know if anybody knows. If you have the gumption or the courage, you might want to check that out later on YouTube. Raymond Wallace. His YouTube handle is Your Lord and Savior. You might want to check that out. But it's very intense right now. He's dealing with a lot of issues. He seems like he's been shut in for a while, and, obviously, he's a very intelligent guy. But, living in society as an intelligent person, it makes sense that you would get frustrated with people. It does. It makes sense that you would get frustrated. And I understand why Ray is having such a difficult time right now because of that. Cedar, have you seen anything of Ray recently or anything like that? Let me know. But it appears that he's having a hard time. That's wonderful. That's right. That's good, man. Staying warm, staying comfortable, trying to make the best out of a cold evening. It's going to be spring and summer before you know it. Before you know it. It's coming for us. Yeah. Yeah. It's never cold all the time. It's never hot all the time. We live in a kind of paradise in some ways, in the good ways. Well, I hope the best for Raymond Wallace, your Lord and Savior. I hope that he's okay. I did invite him to come here tonight to talk with us. And if we're lucky, he shows up. Sounds like he's flying out on Sunday to do some kind of a work. And maybe that'll work out well for him. So if it does, that'd be great. And I wish him well. He obviously does need potentially some kind of help. He's very he's very meta. He's very meta in the sense that Ray is... It's really hard to separate the entertainment from the truth of the man, if you will. Yeah. Cedar, have you watched any of his recent videos? He's kind of come a bit unhinged. But yeah. And I mean, Ray is very probably a psychopath, or at least a sociopath. But he's such a great case study of what can happen to somebody in isolation, because he's always on his own. And because, I mean, regardless of what, I mean, psychopaths and sociopaths generally are very intelligent. But he's obviously very intelligent, so on that basis alone, you can understand that he might get annoyed and frustrated with other people, so empathetically it kind of follows with that. But I'm an intelligent person, and I can be empathetic and enjoy other people. Actually, I might say this right now. Guys, I would appreciate it if you like the video. I hate people who say that, but I know my friends are watching, so if you guys would click that, that would help other people to realize that we're having a good time here. Yeah, and what Ray needs is not to be consoled. What he needs is to be affirmed. So Ray is looking for affirmation. So in order to help Ray, you have to affirm him in the right ways, rather than console him or recommend something to him. That's the mistake we make in society, is we try to recommend. I recommend this to you. I console this to you, because that means that the other person is not doing what they need to do, that there's something wrong with the other person. But what we need to do is to affirm the things that they have done correctly. So I affirm this insight. I affirm this feeling that you have. I affirm this understanding. And then in affirming those correct things, the correct action, the correct way of thinking will emerge. It will appear. It will form itself. And I think that is the solution. Oh no, Carpo. Oh my god, is this Carpo? Is Carpo here? Holy bejesus. Carpo's here. Really weird, because Carpo's comment is showing up on screen, but it's not showing up in the chat. Carpo, I'm posting. Oh, I've invited you to my Discord, right? Actually, Carpo, I would be honored if you have a minute to join me in a chat. That's right. Carpo, so I don't know about, I see you now, Carpo, thank God. Thank God, Carpo. I see your comment to Lucky Frank, and I don't know anything about that, but I definitely affirm what you're saying. If something's going on, and I don't know about those things, but, you know, we always need to have our chin up and understand that for every bad thing that happens, through our courage and our effort, we can make good things happen too. Okay, that'd be great. Carpo, I most welcome you. Actually, Carpo, can you open your Discord? Because I sent you a link to join, but I can send you a new one as well. Let me do that right now. That'd be great. I'd love to talk to you. You're a very cool guy. You guys are going to love Carpo. He's magnificent. All right, I sent you another one. So you're more than welcome to join. And I would encourage everybody else to join our Discord as well. That just makes it easier for us to talk with each other and all that. Yeah, that's a really good point. Carpo, your guitar, what you're doing with your guitar, I am fucking stoked to see what becomes of that guitar and how it sounds when you're done. It's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to be majestic. It's going to be your own guitar, and it's going to have its own unique sound like no other guitar that has ever been made. It's going to be all on its own in like its own genre of sound. That actually, crazy enough, that might be the future of guitars, where, you know, to some degree, rock music kind of becomes stagnant. And, okay, we got to make our own equipment to get our own unique sound, right? There's actually a lot of potential there. It's very cool. I just sent you a new one, Carpo, so you should be able to join now. Let me know. That being said, I'd like to give a grand cheers to Carpo, to Lucky Frank, to Jim, and everyone else who has joined us on stream. You are all fabulous people. I seriously appreciate that you are here with me, and thank you for blessing me with your thoughts, your feelings, and your minds. Cheers to you. Delicious. Great. So if you guys want to chat, you just have to click the Hangout and Talk button, which I'm joining right now. So we have this up here. So it should work. Cheers, Frank. All right, I'm going to have one more sip here and then let everybody take their time, and then I'm going to go on another philosophical rant. So I'm going to close this till it's time. But we often wonder who it is that we are. Don't we? Who am I? What am I doing here? Who made me, and what am I made for? Or what am I for? What do I do? And perhaps this is a question that has plagued us as human beings. For all time that human beings have existed. That's true, isn't it? We wonder that. We wonder what it is that we are and what to do with what we are. But do we need to make that complicated? Do we need to make that complicated? Is it as simple as being a human being? And I think it is. to be a human being alive in here with other human beings. Oh, I see Carpo joined. You guys are welcome to join the voice chat option here, and hopefully we can get it working. Yeah, I see Lucky Frank and Carpo in there. That's cool. I'm super chill with that. But I just want to give a cheers to human beings and us being alive together now, in this moment, in this beautiful moment that only exists as it is in this moment, and then it is gone. For us to share it is beautiful and magnificent. And I'm eternally grateful to be here with you. Cheers. Yeah. So guys, I'm definitely ready to do some chatting. If you guys want to go to the voice chat or the voice channel option of the Discord, that'd be great. I see you guys chatting, and that's cool. You know, Discord is the #1 mechanism for chatting and stuff like that right now. That's what people use on the internet. And so we used to have Google Hangouts where we can just like join in and talk, but Discord seems to be the best option at this point, and you guys just have to pop in there to do it. So we're just going to do that for the time being until something else appears, because everything changes and everything transmutates into something else. I see Carpo trying to join here. That's right. It's been a rough couple of years, but we're gonna make it through. We are, because we're human beings, and human beings are survivors. We are survivors. We never give up. Never. And that is actually the attribute that I have that I value the most, is that no matter what life throws at me, I'm like, hello, life. What do you have next? I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the challenge. Bring it on. And as I get older, and as I get wiser, I get stronger. And I overcome more and more. And I come to the realization that nothing can stop me. Except for Google crashing. But that's okay, we'll get that back up. That's right. Whatever happens, we rise above. And we become stronger and wiser and more content in what happens and overcome. All right. Very great. We're ready to go again here. All right. Folks are busy. Carpo, I hope you really enjoy your son's show. Actually, Carpo, you really need to record a little bit more of that. I'd love to see his show and what they're doing. That jam band stuff has always been something that I've really been interested in and really wanted to maybe musically participate in a little bit. And when you have a big family like Carpo, and Carpo's family is really beautiful, it seems like he has a lot of fun with his family. There are a lot of responsibilities you got to take care of. Carpo, I hope you enjoy your time with your family. And thank you for dropping by. And I got a few more topics I'd like to talk about if everybody just wants to chill, which is cool with me. But we're going to do this stream every Friday, 7 p.m. PST. That's California time, West Coast. And so, as you are able, since you know we're going to do this every week, if you're able to join Logic Church for a discussion, I'm more than welcome it. And I'm really excited about that. Lucky, Frank, and Carpo, I would have so much to talk with you guys about. I'd be so excited to do that. And Jim, who I haven't had the opportunity to talk to yet. Or Cedar, who, is concerned about our Lord and Savior, Raymond Wallace. I'd love to talk with you as well. And just going to provide the Discord link as well one more time in case you guys haven't had the opportunity to join, so that we can share what we love, we can share what we're passionate about, and have a good time together. And to that, I cheers to everyone one more time with great love, with great understanding, with encouragement of collaboration, with encouragement of us being one and valuing each other. Cheers. And to that, a second cheers. Beautiful. Wunderbar. 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 That's great. Okay, I think it's time for another philosophical discussion. I got one for you right here. you're going to come across people who are angry, who are frustrated and exhausted with life. But recognize and see that this behavior is not necessarily related to you, like you being the origin of this anger or frustration. We all have somebody in our lives who are maybe angry or frustrated with something, or if not now, at another time. And that we have to realize that who we are as ourselves is not the same as the other, in the sense that those feelings, those emotions, those expressions are not originated within us, but within them. Those feelings and expressions exist within them. So we can separate ourselves and allow them to be angry, for them to be frustrated. And in doing so, we can be compassionate and understanding on our own side, that those things have to do with them and not with us. That we may be still at peace and support those who are around us who might have these feelings of anger or frustration, and support them instead of taking it personally, which is the blunt way of saying it, or attributing such expressions or feelings toward ourselves, which I think is very important. And if you take things personally, it makes it impossible to remedy and have compassion for other people who suffer through those things. Now, you asked about the title of the video. Celebration of Friends. That's right. Because Logic Church is a celebration of friends. That we are all human beings, and we all are important and valuable, and it's an opportunity here at Logic Church, in this space, to celebrate each other as friends, so that together we can be strong instead of being separate, divided by social media, divided by society, divided by race, or divided by anything else. It just is that here in Logic Church, we are just humans, logically, together. It's beautiful. All right. Great, guys. All right, I'm going to take a couple of puffs, and then I'm going to have a drink, and then I have a couple more philosophical topics to cover. Hope you guys are excited for that. Cheers again to everybody. Thank you for sharing your eternal presence your infinite presence with me this evening. Cheers to you. Welcome again to Logic Church. He is indeed a lonely underscore. He was truly a lonely underscore. Very good. So, I've been studying a lot of physics, and I recently saw a video of somebody talking about physics and saying that because physics is unraveling, if you will, the essence of reality. It is unraveling what it is that it is that is. and that is that things function within certain principles. So physics is trying to discover the scientific material principles of what life is. And as somebody who is a philosopher, this intrigues me very much. As it should you, as it should everybody. It's very interesting. And people who are PhDs or professors in physics, what they're saying is that they function on a principle of society, the universe itself is nothing special. It just is. It just is something to understand. It's not special. Okay? And that if we can understand a phenomena, the matter of the phenomenon, the fact is that the phenomena exists at all, is not something to have any awe about. That the relevance of the phenomena, if we can identify and categorize it, then it just is, and it's no big deal. And that's the problem with science. As science moves forward, it becomes spiritual, but not spiritual. It is that the things that are become wowable, that they become majestic, that it is incomprehensible and amazing that it is at all. But science just wants to say that materially we understand this, so it's insignificant. But it gets far more complicated than that, because the deeper we get, the deeper we get. The deeper we go, the deeper we go. So, for example, if you are to say that nothing is created or destroyed. It only changes form. And that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing is created or destroyed. It only changes form. Imagine that for a moment. Imagine that. Just try. Nothing is created or destroyed. It only changes form. That is, what is, in its totality, is eternal. Nothing is created or destroyed. It only changes form. Think about that. That's not merely categorizing or understanding things on a vain, insignificant level. That's a great question. When I was younger, I started to realize that there was something off with society and with regard to male and female relations. That is, and I'm not saying I'm like a MGTOW or anything like that, but that my philosophical and logical conclusions through my experiences and understanding of things led me to see that my relationships with other human beings, whether it's male or female, are based upon other people having a connection, respecting and appreciating each other, and then being together. And so, in me expressing that, I made several quote-unquote MGTOW videos to express that specific aspect. And at that point, I believe I met true. But it
Relationships with other human beings, whether it's male or female, are based upon people.
Whoops.
I see Carpo's here, but it's coming through
Then being together.
his audio there.
Expressing that.
Oops.
Oh, oops. It's okay. It's a beautiful oops.
I've never used this feature before, so I wasn't aware that it was even live.
No, that's okay. It's beautiful. Oh my God. Actually, I have chills right now that I'm actually talking with you, Carpo.
No, the famous Carpo.
Sorry, what?
Hold on a sec. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. I'm doing great. Wow. Actually, your comment really blew me away. You're loved and what is it? Loved and respected as a human. Wow. Oh my God. I don't think there's a better better thing you could say to another person. That's pretty fantastic, actually.
Well, everybody deserves to be loved and respected.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Wow, that really brings me up. That's awesome. Carpo, what's going on in your life right now?
Well, right now I am trying to navigate this crazy world that I live in and keep myself busy by building guitars, something I've never done, so I'm kind of just stepping into a whole new world.
That's awesome. And it's so cool that you have showed what you're doing and your progress along the way. Because most people, they just do something and it doesn't occur to them that maybe I can share this thing with other people. Maybe I can inspire other people, right?
Yeah. I mean, my intention is really to inspire others to realize that they can make the effort and try new things they've never done and not feel awkward about it, you know?
That's right. That's right. That's really good. And then, like, actually, you've inspired me a lot. And something you've inspired me about is I actually have some kind of a similar issue that you have, where I start things and then I start doing them, and then I start to have this kind of situation where, what is it? Imposter syndrome.
Yep.
I start to have
Yep.
imposter syndrome, and I'm like, I don't know, like, should I be doing this? Like, who am I? Who am I to be doing this? And like, should I keep doing this, or should I just give up? Like, this is all, like, who am I? Like, what is this, right?
Well, you're an intelligent human being, and I'm sure that whatever you tried, you'd be capable of. Saying that you put enough time into it, but for me as the carpenter, of 10, 15 years on and off, jumping into guitars was, like a completely different thing because it requires mechanics and soldering and everything else. But, yeah, I understand the imposter syndrome really well because I started my first guitar, and since then I've made 7 different guitar bodies and 4 different guitar necks, but none of them complete. It's almost like we are sometimes afraid to complete something,
Yeah,
you know?
actually, I thought about that a lot, and I feel like it's it is that we're afraid to complete something, but also I think more so we're afraid of what comes next. We're afraid.
Yeah.
We're afraid of, if we complete this, then we have to find something else to get dopamine from. We have to find some other thing, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the issue, right?
I think that's part of it, but I also think there's part of it that says once it's complete, it's going to be judged.
Oh,
And
that's true.
it's easy, for us to have something partially complete and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this." But once you're done, you've got to look at it for what it is. I don't think I'll ever be complete because I want to I'm hoping to turn this into a career because I've been pretty lost the last couple of years, and really, I was selling kratom for a while and I got bored with being a merchant. I want to be a creator. I'm an artist and I don't know how to share my art. Like you, I'm a musician and I want to be
Right.
able to make music, but as you said earlier, making music on your own guitar would be pretty badass.
Well, yeah, and also, as a musician, you're trying to find that unique sound. And so
Yeah.
that's something I'm really excited about, to hear what this guitar sounds like at the end, because for the last several decades we've been playing with Fender guitars and Ibanez guitars and shit like that. But if you create something that's totally new and unique, that could be really amazing, right? A completely new sounding guitar that no one has ever heard. It's like, if you look at amps, like an orange amp sounds totally different from a Fender amp. And you know what I mean? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's absolutely different when it comes to amplifiers, but when it comes to electric guitars, I've had I've had this debate and discussion a couple times about uh, really what an electric guitar sounds like and whether the tone woods or the type of wood matters more than the actual pickups, and come to the conclusion that really it'll probably sound like anything else. For me, I don't expect my guitar to necessarily sound different than other guitars, but rather to have that feel. I think the originality has to come. This is just me as a musician. I hear a lot of other musicians talk about getting certain tones, and I know people who are like tone chasers who buy 100 pedals. For me, I'm very plug and play kind of guy. I like to just plug a
Me
guitar
too.
in and make the sounds myself rather than looking for a certain tone.
I agree.
So
I
yeah.
agree, that's the way to go. Hey, Lucky Frank, welcome, man. I'd love to hear your voice.
Hey Frank.
How you doing, Carpo?
Good.
Good to be here and chat with you guys.
Yeah,
Awesome.
your voice sounds beautiful. I'm so glad to hear it. That's awesome, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate being here with you guys. This whole stream's really made my night.
That's awesome. I'm so happy. Actually, that really makes my life itself valuable. The fact that me doing this has made your night. I'm kind of crying right now.
That's It's a good thing, man. I know that feeling.
Yeah, that's really great. So thank you for being here, Frank. And I just want to say that I've watched your videos for a long time, and I think what you do is really beautiful and fantastic. And I don't think you need to worry about a thing or change a thing. I think you need to be yourself and to do what you're doing and have a good time. And I think that's the most important thing.
And I really appreciate that, dude. Yeah, I'm trying my best. You know, it's been last couple of years have been pretty trying. But yeah, I mean, I'm just recently kind of getting out of the funk. You know, I was telling you that I stopped drinking. I mean, not permanently, but I'm just taking a little break. And I've been not eating junk food, which
That's
is
good.
something that I do on a regular basis. I've actually lost like 10 pounds this week alone just from exercising and not eating shitty food.
That's awesome.
And not
That's great.
And you get those endorphins from exercising, which can get you just as high.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's a good point. I've noticed if you do manage to get some good exercise in your day, I mean, at least for me, I feel better the rest of that day.
Hell yeah.
That's
And it's
good.
definitely helped, especially coming off of, pills and alcohol. And I quit smoking cigarettes too. I mean, it's really been a whole life change. I started it officially last Sunday. And yeah, I mean, I've been fasting and trying not to. I still take my small doses of edibles, and I've been eating a lot of mushrooms time as well.
That's good. That's good. I think those things are good. I think me and Carpo probably know how hard it is to quit nicotine. I started nicotine; it's very difficult to stop. So
I'm vaping right now. I quit. I smoked for 25 years, and I finally quit about 5 years ago. And I went to vape, and I have no shame, but I'd love to quit eventually. But habits are hard, Frank. And I mean, when I was younger, dude, I went through some serious shit, quitting and starting and getting on and off of things, and I went through some serious, depressed times and anxious times, and it's just a matter of realizing the bigger picture that it's only us that can pull ourselves out. We can look to others, we can look to ideas, we can try new habits. Really, we've just got to feel in our soul and know when we need to change something. And, that's hard sometimes. And I applaud you for your efforts. And, I really would love to break some of my habits because the last couple of years, I've been drinking more than I probably should. And probably, should exercise more myself. So I good on you for doing that, man.
I gotta say though, Carpo looks really fit, doesn't he? just to say.
No, maybe on the face, but my arms are pretty weak.
But yeah, that's true. And I like to drink. I like to get messed up. When I was in Hawaii, I was in a band called the Sloshed Monks, which means drunk monks. And we made some really beautiful music. I gotta say, over the last 3 to 4 years, I've been drinking a fuck ton, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, which is a lot, and a lot of that comes from being locked up with COVID and all that. But realistically, it's just fun to get fucked up. But that fun that you get from getting fucked up can be found in other things.
It's true.
I found that in swimming. I found that in running. I found that in creating music. I found it in so many places. So, channeling that towards creativity or channeling that towards those endorphins that you get from exercise is all good stuff. So the point is, in your heart, in your mind, you have something that you want to do, something you want to become. You really need to realize those things and then embrace them and bring them into reality. And so if something's holding you back, you shouldn't let something hold you back. And so to Frank, you're a fucking king, for controlling yourself and really trying to do what you want to do. So I just want to commend Frank.
I really appreciate that.
So Frank, what comes next for you? What do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? What are you thinking that what kind of direction do you think that you want to go?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have many high hopes. Even despite me trying to fix my life, deep down inside, I still have this whole life is meaningless thing going on that I'm trying to work out. So I can't say for sure what's next. There's a really good chance that, and I'm just being honest here, there's a really good chance that in a few weeks I just go back to being depressed again. But assuming that doesn't happen, if I can keep going with this, I'd like to. I need to figure out my money issue, maybe get a new job, and then I'd like to move down into San Diego because I recently got kicked out of where I was staying, and so now I'm in Winchester, which is just kind of like desert town, not a lot going on. So my plan right now is to get a new job so I can go down to San Diego because that's where I play a lot of the bars and blues jams.
You play live?
Yeah, it's a shame I've never been able to share it with my viewers since I deleted my channel, but I did. I started playing live, mostly just blues jams. Just show up with my harmonica and a microphone. Sometimes I'll bring the slide guitar, but not often because everyone else is really good.
That's awesome.
Guitar.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. That is awesome. Hey, man, I mean, why did you delete your channel, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I have this thing, and I can't explain it, but I just, when I get, like, really down on myself, I start to, like, sabotage myself.
I think I understand that.
In my life, and I have no idea why, and it's been one of my biggest problems. I've ruined pretty much every good thing in my life that way. Relationships,
I get
art,
that.
I mean, I burned a bunch of my notebooks, burned my paintings, deleted my shit that I don't have backups for. Yeah, I don't have an explanation for it. I think I just hate myself or something.
No, Frank. It's much more simple.
Yeah.
I've deleted whole channels and stuff like that before, so I totally understand. And really, what it comes down to is when you delete all this stuff, when you somewhat retreat from things, it actually brings you a kind of enlightenment. It brings you calmness because it's like I can just not concern myself with these things, because in your life you have other things that you really need to concern yourself with that are also, if not more important, right? So if you get rid of this, then you can ignore it and disappear from it. That's one of the things. But also it kind of brings you somewhat of a peace of mind, because nobody's going to see me, nobody's going to be there, and I can just like thwart myself backwards from this thing right now. So in that sense, I totally understand that. But also you change as a person. You change constantly. So you might be in one state of mind right now and then in another state of mind later on. And so when those feelings come to me now, I understand them. I understand their origin, and then I let it go. I let it stay. And that the thing that empowers me is knowing that there are people out there like us that they see this, and that inspires them and helps them, and that there's beauty in those things. And then I can take myself and put myself out of myself and putting myself in other people, and that I see that this thing has beauty, and I'm not going to just say no to it and get rid of it. I'm going to let it exist. And doing that helps me the most. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it makes absolute sense, dude. But sorry, Frank, go ahead.
No. I was just saying I see where you're coming from. Go ahead, Carpo.
No, I was just going to say, to add to that before I forget, it just reminded me, my father, when he was, I think, in his 30s, perhaps, my dad went to Vietnam, okay? And he passed away when I was about 15 from cancer, and I watched him basically waste away. And he was a poet, a writer. He was really into, he was an intelligent guy. But my mom told me that at one time he went and he burned and destroyed all of his writings, all of his papers, all of his poems. And to this day, I have a folder with maybe 50 or so of his handwritten poems, where all the rest of them are totally gone. And I think back to the mindset he must have had when he did that. The mindset that he wanted to start over, he wasn't approving of what he'd done before. But
Right.
I'd just like to say, as a YouTuber of 11 years now, I have over 4,500 videos, and I have never deleted any unless it was one I was afraid of, say, getting a strike against or something. But I went
I'm
back
so
and I
glad
looked at
I'm
some
so
of my
glad
old
you
videos.
didn't, because your
Yeah, well,
videos are so awesome.
2011, dude, I've got some videos from 2010 where I'm talking about the stupidest shit, and I'm totally wasted. I'm drunk. I'm high, and I'm like, God, this is embarrassing as hell. But the thing is, it's who I was at that time. And I think the most important thing is to come to terms with who we are at any time and acknowledge that and embrace that. Because when I was in my 30s, I went through
Yeah.
a major stress case. I mean, I went to the doctor, I tried to get Valium. I was anxious, and I asked myself, why the fuck am I anxious? Why am I depressed? Why am I upset? And I realized there's no real reason for it except for my own insecurity.
Yeah.
And the only way out of that is to just embrace who the fuck you are and just let the world be the world and let you be you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and there's really something admirable about your capacity, Carpo, to endure and to like be embarrassed. Like, it's okay to be embarrassed. It's okay to like feel like this is different, but that's okay that it's different. And to
Yep.
really not care what other people think, but to be absolutely yourself, and then whatever that it is that you express that is yourself is okay to exist in the world. And that is not to say that there's anything wrong with, like I have in the past, or Frank, where we were just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna delete all this, I give up. Because like that in itself, to some extent, provides a lot of value to somebody by just saying, I'm just going to erase the slate, I'm just going to go clean, and I'm just going to do this all anew. Because that whole rising like the phoenix from the ashes archetype is something that's actually really there. So I think if, Frank, you start posting videos and you rise above the ashes like a phoenix, and you just go for it hard, you and your new state of mind, and you just rock it, that what you create is going to be more beautiful and better than anything that you've made before.
Fuck yeah.
Hoping to get back to making videos sometime in the near future if I can like feel better. Yeah.
Frank, you've got a good heart, man. You're
Yeah.
one of the only people that I've ever encountered on YouTube. One of the very few people who I'd say, if that guy came to town, I want him to come visit me. So I'm just saying, if you ever come to Portland, man, I mean,
I almost
can
made it
tell
to
you-
Portland.
Huh?
I almost made it to Portland. I was close.
I know. I was actually kind of bummed. I was like, oh, that'd be
I'm
kind
so
of
sorry.
fun to go out to coffee.
I'm
Shit
actually
happens.
I'm back here in California now, so I'll try to make my way up there if you're down for it.
Yeah. Hey, man. Anytime.
Or I mean, not.
What was that?
I've only been to Oregon one time, and I'd like to go again. I remember the trees.
Yeah. Lots of them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
actually in
if I'm ever
Washington.
in the area, I would definitely hit you up. We could hang out, listen to some music, jam or whatever. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
How
About
beautiful.
8 years ago, when I first started YouTube, I had a guy named John, who I still watch on YouTube once in a while, but he said he was coming to town and he wanted to come by because we'd been talking. And this was back in like 2012 or 13. And he came by and he stayed at my house. I let him stay here and he hung out and we chatted for a bit. And still to this day, I really have fond memories of that. And it's like those brief connections we have with other people in person are priceless. Priceless.
Oh, they are. They are. Because, like, it's a true moment of other human beings really connecting with each other, whether it's with music, whether it's with words and ideas and philosophies or whatever it is. And that is what we live for. We live for that real connection. And that is what makes life valuable, not any of this other stuff. Like, all this other stuff is just a phantom. Really what it comes down to is you know, we are human beings. We live, and if we care about other people, we care about ourselves. We are here as human beings, and then if we can connect and have be able to like knock things off other people and be able to talk about things and connect, then we really feel like we have value. And I think that's also why people fall into depression to a lot of the degree, or frustration, is because we lack that in society, where people who are compassionate and loving have a difficult time when it comes to opportunities to connect with people. So
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I actually have that exact problem. I seem to have an inability to relate to my fellow man for the most part, and I think that's why.
But Frank,
I
you connect with us, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying, is like, I think that's kind of why I started the channel, right? Is to sort of connect with like-minded individuals. Because I'd seen other channels, I saw Carpo's channel before I started my own, and channels similar to that, and I thought, well, hey, there are other people that I can connect to. They might just not be in my immediate vicinity, and that's what's so great about being able to connect through the internet, is you can meet people other states, other side of the world.
That's
so true, man.
That's very true.
I love it, man, because I mean, Frank, I know I don't know how old you are. I think you're in your mid-20s, right?
24, yeah.
And it's hard for me as an 46-year-old to look back that long ago, but that was about 2 years after I met my wife. I was going through my own shit, and we, let's just put it this way: we all face a lot of bullshit in our lives, and we all go through many of these points in our life where we feel really down, or where we feel critical about ourselves. And one of the hardest things for me was to really acknowledge like who I am. And even though my YouTube channel might seem like, oh, I have this, confidence in making videos, that's not the case at all. And half of my videos, people don't realize that, like, at least a third of my videos I never upload. I have them all on a file. And I think
that actually makes sense.
Yeah, I have like so many videos that are sitting on a hard drive that I'm like, nope, I if I don't upload it right after I make it, then I feel stupid about it the next day. And that's because we as humans are always critical of ourselves. We're always looking, the state of mind you're in when you make a video, for example, which is why doing a live is so great, because you're just in the moment. But some of those, the way we look at ourselves is really ridiculous, and we need to step back for a minute and really gauge the difficulty of being a human and compare that to where we're at, right?
You're totally right, and I think it comes down to a lot of issues with regard to that. We feel like we're not enough, but we are always enough. We're always enough. We were just enough as we are. Like, it's perfectly fine. Like, we are fantastic and we are great. The fact that we exist at all is impossible. It's impossible that we exist, but we do. And that is so beautiful and fantastic. And anything that we create or anything that we do is impossible. And I think that's really important for approaching your life. Just looking at it like, the fact that I could do this is impossible. And just enjoying that and embracing that. And then it's okay to try to take something that you're doing and try to make it as perfect as possible, because that's like the impossible of the impossible. But also, just being happy about it and enjoying it. And I think people just get so worried about what's going on and how other people think and making everybody happy and all of that. But if we start with just being happy and embracing what it is that we are, then we can take it to the next level. Put the pedal to the metal, I think.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is complicated, but it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't, because life seems complicated. You know what? Actually, I think society makes life complicated because society asks us to do things and be things that are not catered to who we are as individuals. That means that there are certain expectations, like I think everybody can remember when they were in high school. You got the jocks. You got to be like a physical warrior, or you got to be the whiz who gets A's on every test and that kind of a thing. I think high school, or even potentially elementary school, really pulls a number on us. Like, we start to think that there are expected ways or expected goals that we have to reach, and if we're not capable of doing those things, then we're not valuable as people. But those ways of doing things are artificial and constructed, and we don't. Not only do we not have to appeal to those things, but that those things are actually not correct, in that you are a human being. There are things that you're passionate about. There are things that you love. There are things that you can do, and you should do those things and be passionate about those things and bring those things into the world. And that if other people are not comfortable with those things, or don't like those things, or don't understand those things, I think they will in time.
Tough shit. Tough shit.
Yeah, tough shit. But I think that actually, in truth, in nature, the fact that you do those things is actually in tune with nature, in tune with what is good, in tune with, quote unquote, the universe. And so if you do those things, then I think ultimately, even if not in the moment, it will actually be good over time.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Frank. Hey, Frank.
I'm still here. Sorry, I'm taking my edibles for the evening. Cheers, fellas.
No worries. I was just going to ask you if you, have you lived in California? Do you live in California?
Yeah.
I think he lives in L.A. I'm sorry. Do you mind if I say that? I guess it's too late.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. It's not L.A. It's about an hour and a half south of L.A. Kind of in the desert. I'm actually closer to San Diego, L.A. But it doesn't matter because where I'm at is just the desert. There's nothing around here.
Well, I was just going to say, how much does your current environment relate to your current experience of life and your feelings about, the value? I mean, because, living in that area can be very difficult.
That's absolutely a part of it. There's no doubt in my mind. Between the fact that, well, specifically where I'm at, there's just not much to do. But between that and the job I have to drive like an hour there, sometimes an hour and a half back or more with traffic, and I'm sure you already know California is not a cheap place to live.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live there.
It's got a lot of very nice
it's kind of weird.
Places, but if you don't have money, and it is a little weird.
It's better than Hawaii. I will tell you that. It's way better than Hawaii.
You are not the first person that's told me that. Funny enough.
Hawaii was a really bad place to live. I actually got a ticket for being out on the street. Actually, I got a court order. I was out on the street. I didn't have a mask on. Nobody was around me, and a police officer pulled up next to me and gave me a court order. And I had to go to court for COVID. And then I accidentally crossed the street in a crosswalk where there wasn't like a walking guy. Like, when you have like the walking guy that tells you can walk the street. And I just went across because there was nobody around. And
degenerate, you were jaywalking across the street.
Well, a cop was hiding behind a bush. I kid you not.
Oh my god.
And he comes out and he gives me a fucking ticket. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this a fucking place I live? And at that time I was a grad student, so I didn't have a lot of money. I was working on my master's degree, and it was just like, really? Are you gonna fucking do this to me right now? And like, yeah, he fucking did it to me.
Asshole.
I know, it's fucking crazy. And then we had like several lockdowns over there, and we couldn't leave her home. And so, like, at that time, I was a little bit uncomfortable because I was walking around, and if I didn't have my mask on my own, I couldn't do anything. So it was fucking with my exercise and all that. I'm like, I'm gonna get the fuck off this island, man. I gotta get out.
Yeah.
I gotta get out.
Well, I've heard Hawaii's pretty intense, man.
Hey, lonely underscore. Welcome to the chat. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm fine.
Excellent.
Excellent. How much better could you possibly be than just fine? That's awesome. That's really good.
But wow, he was hiding behind the bushes. That's how they are in Cali.
Yeah, dude. That's how they are in Hawaii. Hiding behind
Hawaii.
the bushes. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, yeah, that's fucked up. I mean, I have a serious issue with this, the whole COVID thing, because I know it's already, people have been on the precipice of feeling awkward, feeling insignificant, feeling depressed, and then this whole thing comes around, and even when we feel like we're getting it resolved, there's plenty of people who are willing to jump out of the bushes and write you a ticket, you know? And
yeah,
it's bothersome to me because I feel like, I don't know, at this point I'm one of the, almost feel like the like my brother thinks I'm the conspiracy theorist now because I have different feelings than he does, and I'm like, you know, you see how the family drama plays out regarding COVID. Like, I understand it's a disease, I understand people die from it, but I also understand that this whole bullshit we've endured has really cost us a lot of our humanity.
You're right. You're right.
The virus, not a disease.
It was.
Well, yeah, sorry. It's a disease in the sense that dis-ease, you feel at,
like that.
at ease.
Disease,
you know what I mean?
disease.
I like that.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Yeah. That's great.
That's clever. That was clever.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so are
Carpo's a
y'all
clever
That's
guy.
the original meaning. I mean, you could technically use the original meaning of disease, which is dis-ease. So, I mean, it
Right,
works.
it makes sense. But are y'all all Californians? Cause that sucks. Y'all getting tickets for like petty things. I live in Houston, and there's been times where I was driving and I accidentally, well, I didn't accidentally, I ran the red light, but like the cop was right next to me. He was right next to me. We both ran at the same time. He didn't give me a ticket.
Oh, he couldn't cast the first stone.
Bro, I was
Yeah, there you go.
terrified. I was terrified. I was like, oh fuck. Oh, can I swear? I'm sorry.
No, you can.
No, go.
Please do. Please do swear.
Oh my god, I almost had a mini heart attack. I could have gotten a wreck. Cause like I did not see him just riding right there past me. And I was like, oh wow. And this was like a couple of weeks ago.
Well,
In Texas, they're laxed.
Well, I will say, I had several experiences in Hawaii where I was hit by a car. So I was crossing the street, and actually, this is really interesting. So I just bought a hamburger and some fries from like a really famous local, you know, I forget what it's called. But anyway, I was crossing the crosswalk, and a bicycle comes right by the side. So some guy riding a bicycle, he knocks this bag out of my hands, which has the hamburger and fries in it. It explodes all over the street, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is happening right here. And
Right.
by the way, I'm crossing the street with the walking man, if you will, the walking man. And then I look over, and this guy just fucking nails me. I get hit really hard by this car, and I get knocked down. And I'm like,
Damn.
at that moment when I was looking at the lights of this car, I thought, oh, this is it. I'm about to die. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to die. And I was like all ready for it. I just came back from music practice. I had my guitar on my back. This guitar hits me. Boom, it nails me. By the way, I had like 4 or 5 beers after this, so the fact that I was inebriated was probably helping me to survive. It hits me, and then I just go flying back. I land on my guitar gets destroyed. And so it was crazy. It was like my life was saved by rock and roll. I just come back from practice, and my guitar on my back takes the fucking hit of the car hitting me. I don't break any bones or anything, and I survive. It's just fucking crazy. But I was sore as fuck the next day, for sure.
Yeah, dead.
But really crazy, the police
good, though.
the police come by, and they're like, some guy just got hit by a car like just down the street like 20 minutes ago. It's-
They just asked if you were wearing a mask, right?
Yo, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like
man.
everybody's getting hit on this street tonight. And that's the problem about living in Hawaii, because like the people who live there don't normally live there, so people don't know what the fuck they're doing on the road, man.
What you mean by that? Like they don't live there. They live there. They don't live there.
Well, because there's so many tourists. I actually
Oh.
I got hit by a car that was rented, so that means whoever was driving the car doesn't live there.
Oh.
So, you know. So, but the point is, like, in that moment that I saw this car hit me and I thought I was going to die, that changed everything. It changed everything because it changed how I live my life, what is valuable to me, because in that moment, like, even if before that I realized that at some point I would cease to exist, at this moment I realized very definitely that I will cease to exist and I could die. Not just now, but like at any time. And so whatever it is that I do with my life, I need to really do it full-heartedly and completely, and not let anything stop me, but be myself as I am and embrace myself and bring it out into the world as much as I can, because I don't know when death will come, when it will come. And if death comes, I will give it a coffee. Like, hey, Death, come on in. Sit down at the table. Would you like a coffee? You know? Yeah, it could happen.
Definitely a good way to look at it. I always figured, or I like to think, when my time comes, you know, we walk with death as a friend.
Yeah, walk with death
I'll
as
be
a
like,
friend.
finally, thank you. What took you so long?
What took you so long, man?
Jeez, I've been waiting for like 10 years.
Creeping around the corner.
Lonely Underscore has a lot of music to write, so don't you dare fucking kick the bucket, my friend.
I won't.
We're
I need
actually
to put some
all
music out.
we're actually all musicians here, which is actually really fucking fabulous, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Carpo, that's so cool. You said you were building guitars. That's sick.
Yeah. It's my first attempt at building guitars. I got my first whole neck done, all the fret slots, everything done on my bass, and then I just set it aside and started building 6 more. That's just how I think. Can't finish them all. Can't finish them, dude. I've just got to keep building them and then never finish anything. That's the ultimate accomplishment.
Right. But keep going for it. That's awesome. Like, I'm a vocalist, but I don't want to build microphones. That's pretty sick that you want to.
Well, I mean, I'm a carpenter. I was a carpenter for a decade and a half, so I mean, I know how wood goes together. I understand the basic concept, but as far as putting a guitar together, it's a totally different monster. So I spent like the last month just basically immersed in how-to videos, how to put in pickups, you know, understanding things that as a guitarist for 30 years, I didn't even know. Things like, well, you know, these pickups do this sound and these pickups do this sound. It's like, it's amazing the shit we don't know relating to our own circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we don't pay attention to some of the things that would benefit us immensely. Like, for me, I'm not a tone chaser, so I'm like, I plug a guitar in and I want to hear the sounds I can make with the guitar, not the sounds that the guitar can make. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I understand that everybody's got their own thing, right? I mean, it's like you're a vocalist, right? So you understand that you add a little bit of fucking echo, a little bit of, you know, it changes everything. So
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
just a matter of which tools you use, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. Did y'all just see me? I was on camera.
That's like for a second.
Oh,
Huh?
I didn't see it. Oh my god.
Okay, good. So now we're in a mask. I usually wear a mask.
That's
I
okay.
was terrified.
No.
There we
Actually,
go. Oh, you can.
Lonely Scar,
There we go.
I don't know if you notice it, but I limit the window
Okay,
just to
awesome, dude. I
the
just subscribed to your
chat
channel.
here. Yeah,
So
yeah.
what?
I limit the window just to the channel here, so
Oh
the
my
voice
God,
chat
thank you.
portion.
I was
So
gonna say, bro.
nobody can see it.
Please take that out.
No. It's not in the video at all. so don't worry about
Okay,
it.
cool.
At some point, so here's the thing, like in the past, what we used to do, like back in the day, like as an OG motherfucker, we 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 used to do Google Hangouts, where
Yeah.
it would take up the whole video, and we'd have all these little things at the bottom of the screen, and everybody would talk, and it would go crazy. By the way, that was the golden age of YouTube. So this is no longer the golden age of YouTube, but we're trying to bring it
No.
back. We're trying to bring it back, where I'm trying to use Discord to do this. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to get people to join Discord, so everybody can be in the
Dude,
chat when we go
I'm
live.
glad you
We can
did
do
this, man. I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's
you
fine.
did this because I didn't know how YouTube. I mean, I have Discord, but I've wanted to do a live chat, but I've never actually used this option. So I'm glad you did because now I know
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, the thing is with this, I can't show the video of everybody, but you know what? I don't know if we need that. I don't know if we need the video of
No.
everybody. I think that we can just talk and everybody can listen to our words and can listen to what we're saying and value that and appreciate that and understand that and have a good time. I don't think that we need videos of other people. Now, something that True Sherm does, which by the way, I hope he shows up. True Sherm, if you're out there, you better show up, you son of a bitch. But that that being said, he uses StreamYard, and then like other people can join in with videos. I'd love to learn how to do that, and maybe we'll do that in the future. But for now, I like this medium of doing Discord, at least because when we're not live, if somebody wants to share something that relates to Logic Church or wants to like share something that they want to talk about or want me to talk about and then for us to talk about together, they can post that here. So that's why I'm encouraging people to join here. So at least it's a place that we can be ourselves. Because we used to have Google what was it? Google Plus. We used to have Google Plus. Yeah, where everybody could join on Google Plus, and then I had like a stream of like 100 people that we could tell like, hey, we're gonna go live on Logic Church, and you could send it out to everybody, and then they could join. But we don't have that anymore. So this is the best thing. I'm trying to build it up, but really the point is that we have an opportunity for people that just want to be themselves, just want to be yourself, and we can be together. That's what I
Bro,
want.
this option better than StreamYard because on StreamYard you're gonna have like 12 people, I believe, at most, and that's when you pay for the service. You can only have like 12 people on. I believe. I'm just kind of spitballing.
I don't think you could do a stream with 12 people.
On StreamYard, no, you have to pay though. You have to pay for the service. On here, I think you could do a lot more. You could have this whole chat like filled up with like a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and sorry, Carpo?
Should say more than 12 seems like it would be intense.
Yeah,
That is true. It'd be chaotic.
12 would be crazy. But I would love to try it. Just
On here on Discord, like you could have a lot. There's been servers I was in, it had like fucking 50 people in the voice chat. Like I'm like, geez.
Damn.
I'm like, what the heck are y'all even talking about? Like, how y'all ever to focus on the conversation? It's weird.
Yeah,
I guarantee
that's a
you.
lot.
I guarantee you, at some point, we're gonna have somebody who says something that you can't say, and we're gonna get into trouble. But that's okay.
I doubt it. Nah, I doubt it.
I'll watch what I say.
Yeah,
I know sometimes I know how to say on certain streams. I know they're more controversial. I let it out, but on other streams, I know how to be a little more safer.
Well, like the chances are, like if somebody comes to the stream and listens to it, they're not gonna dig it. Like if somebody wants to make trouble, to be like, "What is this philosophy? What the fuck is wrong with you, motherfuckers? What are you doing talking about life and living and happiness? Fuck off!" You know. Get
It's
out
not
of here.
It's the algorithms that get you, not the people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
And you know, I got my video deleted last week and had a strike on my second channel because
Why?
well, YouTube decided that what I said was dangerous and harmful content because I had an opinion about the pandemic, and I didn't even say shit. But you know, it's the third time I've had my channel like basically blocked for 2 weeks because I said something they didn't like, and I say, I don't give a shit. I'm going to say what I have to say, and YouTube has an issue with people having opinions, and I understand it comes from way above, and I understand that people, are just kind of falling into line, but I have, my own views on the pandemic, and I think I feel like as a liberal hippie motherfucker, I have an obligation to say that I'm not for lockdowns, that I'm not for these things, but that's all it takes to get your shit deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I myself feel a very similar way, but I don't really feel comfortable expressing those views with people of my generation or sort of in my circles because, well, just from fear of being labeled, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
What?
Anti-vaxxer. If you have an opinion about lockdown, you're just an anti-vaxxer by default.
And like, dude, I'm like, bro, if you want to take the vaccine, cool. If you don't want to take it, cool. Just do you. Wow, that's so controversial. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, that's where we're at, right?
Yeah. And frankly, there's been much worse pandemics throughout society before. And, this is nature in action, and you have to embrace it. You have to embrace nature and what nature is doing. And as a living organism, you're going to have to get it. You're going to have to get stronger because you can't hide from nature. You can't hide from it. And that is the truth.
That's a different story.
Did you catch it? I had it twice, and I'm not dead. Well, the second time was not as bad. The first time was.
I got it too.
It's okay, but society is trying to make a bigger deal out of it. As a means for power and control over other people. It's like, look, it doesn't look. Everybody died. This is what I realized when I got hit by that car. You realize that you will die at some point, and so make the best of it. Make the best of it, and if we die, it doesn't mean that we actually die. Ooh, because we're not actually sure what happens when you die, by the way. Hey, ooh.
Right.
Hot tip. But
that's another story altogether.
Yeah, that's right. Hot tip. But so don't worry about it. Live your life. Create your art. Have a good time. And don't let all this stuff bring you down. And don't be so afraid. I think the people who are afraid are people who have a lot of money and they want to keep that money and they want to live as long as possible. But we don't have to live within that paradigm. We don't have to be those people. And that is fantastic and beautiful. So.
I'll take a bong hit to that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I never wore a mask. I never got vaccinated, and to be honest, after the first couple months, I essentially just pretended this thing didn't exist. And if I've had it, I sure don't know about it. But
good on you.
What did scare me was Ebola. Something like that, I'd be terrified of. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah.
That was.
Scary. Oh yeah, right. I would be terrified of that.
People bleeding out of their ears and eyes. I mean, that's something to be. That's a pandemic.
Exactly. Bro,
look, if it ever becomes aerosolized and we have airborne Ebola, we're all gonna be fucked, and that's something.
That would be terrible. But you know what? I think nature is much more compassionate than that. I don't think it incumbents nature to be so drastic and destructive because nature wouldn't exist if it did that.
What happened with the plague, man?
What?
No,
Sorry, what?
Then, that was us too, though. We were not prepared. People weren't washing their hands and shit. It was way more things than just the disease. I feel like the Black Plague was a thing today. We were surviving. It just back then, just people were not sanitized.
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It won't be as nearly as deadly. It's like a zombie invasion. When you watch those on movies and shit, it's usually way worse than it would be today. Society today is just way different.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Well,
And if you think about, 20 years from now, we're gonna look back on this and be like, "Fuck, we got shit for that now."
Well, us smart people already know. We already see it that way. This shit is not gonna, be the end of the world.
well,
But, us
Yeah.
people who could.
well. Okay.
Exactly.
So that being said, I wonder, how do you guys feel about art? What is the significance of art for you guys?
In what
It's
way?
like stress reliever.
Well,
It's like a
in
stress
the
reliever for me.
in the way that you would feel it, like in the way that you perceive it. Like, what is the
Well,
meaning
what
of
do you
art?
define it? What do you define as art?
So,
Because some
how
people
do
think of
you
art as
define it?
NFTs.
So how
Well,
do you
art is
define it?
something-
And
About
I think of-
self-expression. That's a
Yes.
place to start, right?
yeah,
Yes.
it's a starter.
that's it.
It's a starter kind of a thing.
It's something that's created by individuals for a purpose of evoking an emotion.
Yeah. Well, what kind of emotions should we evoke?
Happiness, sadness, there are none that
Yeah, it's
aren't
subjective,
you know,
really. Like,
yeah,
that part's
very
subjective.
subjective.
Feel that we would like to convey through the art. It depends on the piece. It depends on the art, I guess, and what you're feeling
Yes.
when you create it.
Yeah.
The
So
energy that goes into it.
yeah. So for me, I feel that art is individual expression. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
think too. I thought that I didn't really think of emotion because, like, for me, it's really just a stress reliever. Whenever I'm stressed, I just put something out there, but it's not really no emotion behind it. For me, at least, personally.
Yeah, that
Frank.
makes sense.
Frank, what do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I think it depends on the piece and the intention that you put into it. I mean, for me personally, especially with music, it's like this. I'm sorry, I don't know the other guy's name that's in here, but what he was just saying, that like when you get stressed out, you put something out, or like I know if I get sad, that's a good time to write a song, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's
straight up. Yeah, you hit it when the emotions are hot.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because to even create in the first place, I have to have that like drive, like
Kick in the ass.
that like whatever that is that pushes me to create. And I think
Stress.
that's yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the biggest one for me. Is like whenever I'm stressed, hey, I don't smoke, so let me go ahead write a song.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's really cool is like everybody here has like different forms of expression. So that means that all of us participate in different forms of artwork, that we're expressing things that are totally different from each other. And so being in an environment where we're talking with each other and communicating with each other and being able to within ourselves have those different forms of expression, I think is really beautiful. And how do you guys understand that other human beings have different forms of expression, and what does that mean to you?
Oh man, it's hard for me because I feel like people don't understand for example, I feel like my YouTube subscribers understand me better than my own family,
Yes.
right?
I
Yes.
felt the same back when I had a channel.
Yeah, and they get me. They understand that I'm just a flawed human being. I'm doing my thing. I'm having fun, doing what I can. My own brother and my mom, who are my own direct family, which is different from my family. I have three boys and a wife, so they understand me. But my birth family, my mom and my son or my brother, they don't get me. It's ironic. It's funny. You were talking about music earlier. My brother is a guitarist, and I remember watching him learn his first few chords, back when we were kids. And he has been playing for like 30 years. He's a phenomenal guitarist. He plays in a band in Hood River up here, and he is so insecure about himself and his own understandings about life that even though I told him I was building guitars, he couldn't even give me any credit on it or say, "Oh, cool." He actually sent me a text tonight saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm having a guitar built by a local luthier." In other words, it was his way of saying, I can't relate to you as my brother,
Oh,
but I'm just gonna
I don't
try to
like
like
that.
troll you by saying I'm ordering something from someone else.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a
that's like a
that's
gut
a
punch.
that's a dick move.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
that's
really
the thing.
dickish.
You know, that's the thing. I expected it, and I said, "Hey, dude, good on you, dude. I hope it's a good job." And
I'm so
he
sorry.
told me,
I'm so sorry, Carpo.
Huh?
It
No,
it
it's
kind of
good because I don't want to work with him. He wanted me to build him a cabinet for his guitar like months ago, and I gave him a price, and he said, "Oh, I could get one for $200." I said, "Go buy one for $200, right?"
Oh
But the
yeah,
point
he's
being
doing
is,
that. He's doing that thing.
He's
yeah.
bitter.
The point being that people play fucking mind games, and it's so hard when you are a person who's coherent and aware of those mind games, but then you see people who are very simplistic minded and they think that they're playing a game that's going to get them over on you. And you're like, but dude,
That's
you're
too bad.
my blood brother, you know? Like, I don't feel like people get it. Huh?
You know,
Something I noticed.
It
you,
is family, yeah.
you know what, Carpo? You had a really fucking good thing going when you were playing with your brother in your band. Your band sounded really fantastic. Actually, if I compare it to a lot of other bands, you guys were like 80 to 90% ahead of a lot of other bands that are starting out. Like you guys had a good thing going. So
Is it on your channel?
I
'Cause
don't-
I actually subscribed to you like about 20 minutes ago.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
the band is called the band was Time to Spare, and that was the name of it, and it's on my channel. If you just look at my channel, look at Time to Spare. But yeah, we had a lot of great times. We played music. It's just a three piece, but our drummer played a Moog synthesizer, so it sounded like a lot more than it was.
it was great.
And we had a great time till he moved to San Diego, and then my brother moved to Hood River, and we ended up splitting up. But I think what the point I was making, like he wanted me to play bass with his current band, and I told him I can't dedicate myself. Like I was being honest with him as my brother. I was like, I can't promise you that I'm going to go out there and play music twice a week with you.
You have
practice and play
responsibilities.
gigs. And I
Yeah.
was like, I love you, but I got other shit. I got kids, I got a life, and he couldn't handle it. So instead, he started like getting butthurt. He's always bragging about his current bassist, but then he'll complain about his current bassist because I'm a bass player. That's what I did in the band. But now that I'm building guitars, I think it bothers him, and it's weird because like I'm a person who can just say, "Hey man, how are you feeling?" And he's the kind of guy who's like, I don't talk about feelings. So I think that's why we reach out online to try to reach other people who have the same connection with their own emotional intelligence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
You definitely, it's like they say, you don't pick your family.
Yeah.
It's true,
Well,
Frank.
I was
I-
gonna say something similar. Okay, like you were saying, your family don't understand you. Well, I was thinking like, I don't know, this is just me, how my philosophy or whatever, but I feel like the family that's really supposed to get you is the one you make yourself. Like, yes, you're supposed to be grateful for the family you're born into, but I feel like your real family start with the one you start. When you move out, get your wife or whatever.
You are absolutely correct, and that's the point. Really, the point I was trying to make, and the hardest one, because when you tell your family that, they can't understand that.
Yeah, they're not supposed to though. Because you're always gonna be there, especially like for your mom and you're always gonna be their kid or whatever. But it's just part of I feel like that's just part of the journey.
You're wise.
Make your own new
You're
line.
wise. you sound
Yeah.
like a wise human being.
Yeah, I'm really not. I'm black pill, bro.
Well, dude,
Whatever.
dude, if you get that, you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the
Right
thing.
on.
To understand stuff.
Right on.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Family.
I will say that. So that being said, I do feel like with your direct family, they're because you've spent so many years together, you've had so many experiences with. There's a definite value there. So
Yeah.
that is there, but at the end of the day, if people are not trying to understand each other and work together and create that connection, then there's not a lot that you can do with it. Like if people want to live in alternate
you got a good
reality.
point, but I thought about that, dude. I mean, think about it this way. I've spent three times more years away from my family than I have with my family. If you consider that you're only really even aware by the time you're 10. So you spend a total of 10 years with your family. I've spent 30 years with my other family.
Oh, sorry,
and
guys.
to think that, that my birth family matters more is just ridiculous. Because, I mean, that sounds horrible when people hear it. They're like, oh, you should be in, always take care of your
People do
parents.
not
Always.
like to hear that.
Just be great.
No,
I mean, I
they
wouldn't say
don't.
that because I think your wording sound a little harsh. I would say you be grateful for them, love them, and everything, like appreciate them. But at the end, there's a certain pride to starting your own family. There's a whole certain pride to that, and it's kind of like the natural order as a person.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't mean to minimize the experience
Yeah,
necessarily.
you made it sound really harsh.
Well,
yeah.
I come across a little break at times, but what I really mean is it's probably because of my own personal fallouts with my brother is like extremely left and my mom is extremely right and I'm in the middle, so I'm like arguing with both of them at the same time.
Well,
I don't understand either one of you.
And to be honest, Carpo, I'm actually really fucking jealous of you.
Why?
In the sense that you actually have a family that you made, where you have kids. You have awesome kids, by the way. And
well, you have lived with them for a
They got an awesome dad, though. This dude seems
yeah,
so cool.
you're right. You're right. They have an awesome dad, which is what brings it together.
You know what's funny is
And I would love to have that.
Dude, my oldest son right now, he's Rayflin, he's 26. He's actually playing a concert right now as we are recording this.
Carpo, do you
And,
need? Are you okay? Are you okay to?
What?
I thought you had to go to
what?
the concert or something like that.
No, we were gonna go, and my wife got home kind of later than we thought. He was only playing till 10.
Oh,
So
right.
anyway, he has this girlfriend, and she plays in a band, and he's been playing with them. And they usually do Grateful Dead cover songs with this other
Right.
band. But the point being that like watching him grow up, he's my stepson. I met him when he was like 3. I met my wife when he was 3, and I raised him as my own since he was a little kid. So my
Yeah.
first son is actually my stepson. But he is an amazing fucking guitarist, dude. And it's like, I don't know, there's something about a connection to your direct family that is beyond anything that you can attain elsewhere. But at the same time, there's a huge sacrifice that's made for that a lot of people don't see until they're in it. Like you
Yeah.
really sacrifice everything when you have a family.
Well, and I
And
think
so-
time
those
makes
who
family,
don't-
right?
What's that?
So it seems that time makes family, where you've been
Well,
around people for
action
a
too.
certain amount of time, right? And action too. That's
Yeah.
true.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
How old are you,
I mean-
Logic?
I'm 33.
Yeah, time. I don't want to get married. I don't want to start like my own family until I'm at least 35. I want to enjoy my youth.
That's what I thought too. And then when I met my wife at 23 as a party animal myself, I was like, am I ready to settle down? But I met the right girl. It was a weird time. And I was like, yeah, okay, she had a kid. I didn't, but I'm going to do this because I love her and I love her kid. And it was a weird, choice to make because I feel like for a while I was like, oh, I want to go out and still have that party. But then I realized there's nothing to really party at, like the whole party is connection, right? So like when I went out and I went to fucking a rave or a Dead show or whatever it might be, I'd be like, this is great, but the ultimate goal is connection to other people. So if I can manifest that like with direct connection with family, it was totally worth it to me. But I know a lot of antinatalists these days that just don't even understand why a person would have kids. They are so like a lot of people in the modern generation are totally against family and like that whole thing, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, bro, I'm like in the middle. It's like I really would want that, but at the same time, like, dang, it's stressful. Like, I don't really want it. Like, I'm 25, but like, man, the idea of marriage right now sounds, that's so far. I'm good.
Well,
like,
I met my wife.
I'm
when I
not a
was
party
23.
animal.
No, I wasn't a big partier, but I met my wife when I was 23, but we didn't get married till we were like in our 30s. I'm 46
Is she
now.
still your same?
so,
Is she still your same? You still the same person?
Yeah, we've been together for 22 years.
How did
this
you do
November.
that? bro, I get bored just being with the same chick for like 3 years. Well, I was just my last relationship that I just got out of not too long ago. We was together. It was the longest. It was like 3.5 years, and I'm like, finally, it's over.
Because you're looking at lust, not love, my friend.
Yeah, that's
Looking at
right.
my money up. I'm trying to be rich. I'm trying to be at least 6 figures by 35. I don't got no time for this.
I let go of money. I just don't care. All I want is some land and time. That's all that matters to me.
Well,
I mean,
guys,
you gotta have money to buy land, but you know we've worked towards it. Now we're looking to buy like 100 acres somewhere and fucking a house and maybe a shop and a barn and just get the fuck away from it all because I don't want money, dude. Money's just problems.
I agree. Well, guys,
I'm a gamer. I'm a big gamer. I want to have all the games ever and don't have to work.
well, guys, I've
Yeah, I mean,
so
there you
guys, I've been live for about 3 hours now.
Oh, geez.
yeah, it's been a while.
So
It's been fun.
as
It's
fun
been
as it
fun.
has been, and it has been
Yes,
fun.
yes.
Again.
I think
Understandable. Logic has to go. I'm gonna have to do one of these myself because you're gonna have to show me how to use the whole Discord fucking chat thing. I think I have one
Yeah.
set up.
I think that's
Yeah.
the future, honestly. Um,
I agree with what you said earlier about like Google Plus.
but before I go, I do want to share a song that I wrote for Lucky Frank.
Ooh.
All right, awesome, dude.
Brother.
So I'm gonna play that, and then I'm gonna take us out. Do you guys have anything that you want to share before we go?
I just wanted to
I think
say
Frank-
thank you.
Yeah, Frank got cut off, dude.
Go ahead,
No,
Frank.
I can hear him. I can hear
I
him.
was just saying, yeah, you guys made my night. We should definitely do this again.
Every Friday.
It was a good conversation. Yeah. And Carpo, I look forward to seeing you do one of these. I think that'd be really interesting.
Thanks, Frank. And I'm sorry I realized you haven't even got a word in edgewise in a while.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
no, it's fine. I'm mostly just listening.
Nice. It's
Okay.
been
Yeah,
great.
fellas, I'm looking forward to hearing this song, Logic, and thank you for having this. This has been it was a good conversation. It's been a long time since I've had any kind of meaningful conversation, so
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Amen.
Amen. All right.
Amen.
So that being said, I beckon all that exists, all people,